it doesn't matter if it's political, because sometimes I do post things that are political, or if it's something that's gushy. People want to know, people want to be led about how they might think about it differently, or they want to know if you're on their side. They want to know if that you have the same perspective that they do. And this is a wonderful way to share what it is both that matters to you and what it is you're putting into the world professionally.
Hey, authentic influencers, this is the innovating social media. So how can we change up our social media? And today I am so excited that this whole week we have the amazing Alyssa Light with us.
So Brooke, what do you think is the number one thing that people need to know when they're using social media?
I think the number one thing is to be authentic and to it's okay to share stories, and you do that, you share stories in ways that we can connect with other people. Mm-hmm. That connection piece.
Do you think that, I know in my life, when I talk to people about it, the biggest thing is, I'm afraid to post things. Mm-hmm. And, what I'd love to dispel is that myth of dispel the myth of how posting things that either offend or excite people can actually create your tribe faster.
Yes. Oh, yes. That's so true. I remember I posted something, it was probably about 2 years ago, and I can't even remember what the post was about, but I knew right when I clicked that publish button, I'm like, this is going to ruffle some feathers, but it's what I really believed. And it turned into this big social media fight against my brother and I. But it really helped see who were my people, who were following me that had the same thought as I did. And it pushed away all those people who are not my people.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. The biggest thing that I post about is belonging. And my primary use for social media my choice for social media is Facebook. And I often just curate content and then add a little bit of organic that goes with whatever it is that I'm posting. Mm-hmm. And it makes a huge difference. And I didn't realize how many people are reading and watching what I post, because although I don't necessarily get a lot of comments and that kind of thing, everywhere I go, people say, that video you posted, it really makes me think. Or the way that you phrased XYZ about ABC, I had never looked at it that way before. And it doesn't matter if it's political, because sometimes I do post things that are political, or if it's something that's gushy. People want to know, people want to be led about how they might think about it differently. Or they want to know if you're on their side. They want to know if that you have the same perspective that they do. And this is a wonderful way to share what it is both that matters to you and what it is you're putting into the world professionally.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, exactly. I love that. And to the point of where you said that you took some content that was someone else's content and then you added your own to it. That's a great way to get started too. If you're I really like what this person said, that you can do that, but then add your own piece to it, because people are going to connect with you a lot more because it's coming from you and not from what someone else said.
Yeah. And, I'm going to give everybody a couple of examples that are both ends of the spectrum, if that's okay with you. Mm-hmm. So I know that you and I joke about cat posts, but let's just have a moment about cat posts, okay. Shall we? When we think about relating to other people, what we want is that we want to know that people understand us. Mm-hmm. So when we put out organic content, that gives other people the opportunity to get to know us differently, so that they know that we have their back. They know that we understand. And so if you're a huge cat person and you see somebody posting all about dogs, if you're a huge cat person and you see me post a picture of my cat Man Pants and he's doing one of his modeling moves, that's how he got his name, then probably you're going to have a good laugh and think differently about how we might how we might build a relationship together. Right. So that's one example. And, if I was somebody, let's say that I'm selling cat food or dog food or animal food for that matter, then what I'm going to do is make sure that there's some post in there or piece of that post that talks about, oh, by the way, Man Pants loves his, and then whatever cat food it is, or Man Pants loves this treat, or here's a picture of Man Pants sitting on his own tail eating his treats, whatever it is. And that's a really easy way to share what you sell professionally or what you offer professionally in a very personal way. Mm-hmm. That's one example. Another example of something is, let's say that you are really passionate about water. I am, so this is important to me. So when Flint, Michigan happened, even though I'm not American, Flint is pretty close to here. That was a real wake-up call for a lot of people. And also in Canada, there's a lot of challenges with our Aboriginal communities, our Indigenous communities having to boil water. When I post about either cats or water, what I can put, one of my hashtags is #belonging matters, because I care that people feel like they belong. And so these are two different things that might relate to people, might capture people that are on a fun spectrum and, again, a political spectrum, but definitely have helped to build my tribe.
Well, and what I love is both of those things go along with the movement that you've created, which is like that everyone can belong. And so that's what's important for you guys to know, is like figure out what is your movement. And we've had lots of boot camps about that in the past. What's that one thing that you want to get that message out there? And there's different ways with political, what's going on with water and with cats. It still all points back to the one, your one mission that you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, I can relate those things to my speeches too. So, for those of you who aren't aware, mostly what I do is I'm a professional speaker. And so I speak about offline marketing and positioning. So those are my two marketing topics. And then I speak about recruiting, very specifically the interview process, and inclusion in the workplace. And those are my only topics. That's what I talk about. And, I can relate belonging to growing business and growing teams and productivity and all kinds of things inside of my posting, professional or personal.
Mm-hmm. I love that. So Absolutely. It doesn't matter what way you go about it, you can still talk about it. So mm-hmm. People can Absolutely. Do it at parties. You can talk about things, when you're trying to recruit a prospect. When it is like, maybe you get asked to be a speaker at your next year's convention, and you can talk mm-hmm. about those things that are important to you, but you can relate it to a lot of different avenues.
Absolutely, you can. Absolutely, you can. So what's one of the best posts you've ever seen that's organic?
So organic posts, I see a lot of good ones. I see a lot more bad, but some good ones that I have seen that like really draw me in is the ones when it's like, you always see a ton about like weight loss and stuff like that, but when it's their personal journey, there was one I remember when Rodan and Fields had the lash boost that went out, that this lady's husband decided that he was going to show that it does work. So he did one eye. So we had one eye where the eyelashes were like super, super long, and the other one that was short. But here's the thing, like when I read the post, I was drawn in. I was like, okay, this stuff really works. But then when I found out it really wasn't her husband, like it was someone that they had taken that post that originally it was, but so many other people had been sharing it that it had gotten diluted. So you can take something that's really awesome and you can dilute it when it's not yours personally. So if your husband doesn't want to do that, that's okay. Find somebody else. Maybe your brother wants to, or you do it yourself and just do it, So the thing, when I found organic posts that really like touch me and reach out to me, it's when it's something that happened to them personally. It's not like, oh, and even if it's a customer of them, like that is okay. But when it's like, hey, my upline sideline sister's dog did this, I'm like, that doesn't really speak to me at all.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you guys an example of this that happened like way before social media was ever a thought. In 2001, I was in Romania on a trip with my youth group. And in the area where we were, there were very, very, very few people who spoke English. And we were in the Hungry Bunny restaurant one day, which is the American restaurant that serves Greek food. And because that's the way it was, our leader said, hey, I'm just going to go outside and use the payphone because that was a thing. I'm just going to go outside and use the payphone to call home because, like, with the time change, I'm going to go, or the time difference, I'm going to go do that. And just stay here. Don't talk to anybody. And I'm like, well, we can't talk to anybody, so we're good. I mean, we had learned, where's the train station and how much does it cost and, where's the washroom and things that were important to our daily sort of goings about, but certainly not enough to have a conversation with anyone. And about 5 minutes after she went outside and we could see her, a man walked up to us at our table. And so we're 5 teenage girls from Canada. And he walks up and he says, are you from Canada, from Guelph, from Courtright Church? And we were like, yes. Who are you? And he said, oh, my cousin's brother's wife's ex-girlfriend's nephew emailed and said you were coming. And I think I had just registered a Hotmail account at that point. So the thought of like somebody connecting somebody, it became weird that this person had approached us. And the same thing happens with your social media. It's okay that it's not your husband doing it. Brooke said that. It's okay. But here's what that person could have done instead. Oh my goodness, somebody on my team did this with her husband. I am so inspired. I'm laughing so hard. Please laugh with me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Love
yeah, like when I'm on stage, entertainment is not just about laughter, but it helps people remember things because they're having a visceral reaction to something that you're saying. Entertainment can also be sad. So if there is an atrocity happening in the world or something horrible is happening and you're willing to be brave and talk about it in a way that starts a conversation, that is also entertainment. I'm not saying entertainment the way that Hollywood makes entertainment, okay? Although Hollywood makes sad movies too, okay? I'm saying that it causes a reaction, that causes an emotion, that causes different chemicals to be released in your brain, and that helps remember things. How are you going to be remembered? Are you going to invite people to laugh with you or cry with you? And I would totally recommend that you go one extreme to the other, because when we give people a variety of experiences about us, with us, for us, really it's for them. That's why we're doing it. We want them to interact. We want them to have a benefit. It's not about us when we post. It's about our people.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, and when we show all of those different sides of us, it makes us be more real and it makes us be more approachable. And that's what we're trying to do on social media as we're trying to become these influencers. We don't want to have our audience be like putting us up on a pedestal. We want to say, hey, I am one with you. And when you do all those different kinds and go from one extreme to another, it really helps them be able to connect and make that connection.
Sure. And sometimes, friends, I mean, think about this. Think about something you did when you were a child and you just thought you were going to get in so much trouble. Totally stole a peanut butter cookie and then hid under a table. Okay? Think about how much trouble you got in or were in or whatever. And now years later, how you can sit with your father at the table and have a really good laugh about the fact that you were like choking on this cookie because it was so dry and couldn't get it down and you didn't even get to enjoy the darn thing. Like, these are moments that when you share, you will strike a chord with somebody because you're like, oh, you too. And that's how we build belonging and build relationships with social media.
And this whole thing is why organic content is so important, that it comes from you, that it's your perspective and you are sharing it.